Tonight, we have USA in the round of 16 match against Belgium in the World Cup at 8 o'clock kickoff. They're going to be playing in Seattle. And the big news over the weekend in regards to this game was that Folarin Balogun had been given a red card after VAR review in the last USA game and would be suspended one match following the red card. Normally, that's normal procedure with a red card, suspended the following game, and then can return the game after. Well, FIFA has decided to overrule that suspension, and he will not have to serve a one-game suspension, will be able to play against Belgium tonight, which is huge for the U.S. because he is, without question, their best goal scorer. He has been fantastic in this tournament up to this point, and I can assure you he will be impactful in this game tonight. However, people are freaking the F out. The entire soccer world is pissed to the point where UEFA, the European Football Association, their governing body, issued a statement, and I'd just like to read you a couple quotes. When the certainty of rules is no longer guaranteed by its guardians, the integrity of the game is at stake and credibility of a competition is undermined. Equally, such decision creates a precedent in the ongoing tournament where similar situations will now require an equal treatment to the detriment of the competition. We express our disbelief at such an unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable decision. Europe is imploding over this decision. People in Belgium were freaking out. Everyone around the world is losing their minds. And I would simply like to call to question UEFA. Did you see what happened entering the World Cup? Because if you were unaware, in qualifying, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the most popular footballers in the entire world, and has been now for like 20 years, received a red card in qualifying. He was to serve a 3-game suspension. However, FIFA overturned that, made it a 1-game suspension, so he missed the final qualifying and then would be eligible to play in group stage and simply be on probationary in a probationary period.
Double secret probationary.
Yeah. And so what FIFA did was they made one of their biggest names and biggest superstars available in the World Cup because they can do that. There's a clause in the FIFA rules where they can go in and overrule any red card they want. There is this clause, and you know, you can say FIFA is corrupt. Yes. They already set this precedent. They did it with Cristiano Ronaldo. But of course, the European Football Association has zero inclination to mention that to anybody. They simply think that the Folarin Balogun situation is the one setting the precedent when that was already set. So I would just like everybody outside of the United States to chill out. They allowed this guy to play. Even if the United States beats Belgium today, I'm sorry to say, I love this team. It's been a lot of fun. I love the World Cup. There is a next to zero, I would say there's still some chance, but it's pretty close to zero chance they're going to advance past Spain, who's probably going to kick Portugal's ass today. So, and then on top of that, they'd have to get through France. Like, I think what happened here is that they were playing a clip of Lionel Messi side by side with this Folarin Balogun situation where Messi clearly had intent and created a much worse foul but wasn't even given a yellow card, whereas Folarin Balogun was given a red card on VAR review when it wasn't even given a yellow card prior to that by the referee.
Can I ask something that's from a dumb perspective?
Yep.
Like, I don't know that much about soccer, to be totally transparent.
Yep.
Do they use the VAR in the last stage that you talked about?
Yeah, they use the VAR in every game at every time.
No. With before the group stage started.
Oh, in like qualifying?
Yeah.
Every game. Every FIFA game. Yep, they use VAR.
Okay, so this is one of my issues with soccer. And honestly, it spreads across all sports.
Reviews getting out of hand.
I think with soccer in particular right now, with the way that this has gone, so much is subjective to the point that I don't know a ton about soccer. How do we still not know how long the game is going to go? Can someone explain that to me?
Well, so
I don't understand. I was talking to my husband about it over the weekend where I was like, how much time is left? And he was like, well, we don't know yet. Like, that's insane. I'm saying not how much time we're going to have to watch this game, how much time is left in the game clock. Yeah. And he was like, we don't know yet.
Yep.
And I just go, I don't want this mansplained to me, so I'm going to walk away and make another drink. But there's so much that seems to be so subjective. When you talk about intent, that is the part to me that I 100%. Think drives people insane, because it's not really something that you can prove for the most part. It's the same thing in some fouls that you call in football, some fouls that you call in basketball. How do you prove that there was malicious intent?
Well, especially when you're slowing everything down so much, it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to be able to find like every little detail, but if you're watching it in live time, it looks okay. It's just a foul, like it's nothing crazy. And so on top of people flipping out about this, I think one of the reasons it has exploded so much is because President Trump reached out to the FIFA president, I believe his name is Gianni Infantino, and asked for them to review the red card. And so they believe, people outside of the United States now believe that President Donald Trump is the reason that this red card was taken away. And not that FIFA just wants to host one of the only host countries left, actually the only host country left now, to have their best player on the field in a big game. I don't know. That's probably why they're doing it, is they're like, we're playing in the United States. Their best player is going to miss a game on a kind of a BS red card. It shouldn't have been a red card in the first place anyways. Let's revoke the red card. No suspension. He had to miss the rest of the game then. I think time served. I think that's what they call it in the judicial system. Time served. He's fine. We're good. It's that simple.
How much do you think the response outside of the U.S. is because, one, Trump is not popular outside of the U.S., so it's him
reason.
making the phone call. 2, it looks like it's weight given towards the host country, as you said. And 3, the U.S. is not traditionally the soccer powerhouse. So it's like, okay, you're giving the U.S. the benefit of this instead of any of these other countries who, and I don't know the individual situations that their players have had, but this is the country that you're rewarding, the one country with the massive sports infrastructure whose fans don't give a crap about soccer. They call it soccer instead of football.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why people are freaking out. The Europeans especially are losing their minds because all of those things that you just mentioned are going the U.S.'s way. But like even Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not a U.S. citizen, not an American, is from Sweden, has been doing fantastic football analysis with Thierry Henry. If you haven't watched any of it, they've been fantastic. He even said, he's like, it should have been a red card in the first place. We all said it. Everybody knew it, and yet the VAR decided it was a red card because they slow it down to an infinitesimal speed and decide, yep, there's intent here. It's a red card, even though it shouldn't have been. So it's kind of just remedying a situation. That's all. That's all it is.
Text line says, Mego asked her husband a question. Mego doesn't want it mansplained. That's fair. That is fair. I'm a very annoying person to be married to.
Hey, I get it. It's fine. My wife asks me questions all the time and then goes, I don't want to be mansplained. I'm like, but Mego, you mentioned how on the text line people were clamoring for more talk on the red card that was rescinded. For those of you who haven't been paying attention or hadn't cared up till this point, Team USA plays today against Belgium in the World Cup. 8 o'clock kickoff, and originally Folarin Balogun, the leading scorer for Team USA, had gotten a red card in the previous game. On VAR review, wasn't given a card at all originally, but then upon slow-mo VAR review was given a red card and should be suspended one game. However, FIFA has since come out and rescinded that suspension. He will not have to serve a one-game suspension. They basically chalk it up to time served, and he will be able to play against Belgium to the point where now European fans are infuriated. They are losing their minds. UEFA put out this whole statement about how it's incomprehensible and unjustifiable and all these big adjectives, and people are losing their minds because they think President Trump is the reason that this got done, when in reality they reviewed it and determined that it wasn't in fact a red card. As every analyst has told you, it shouldn't have been a red card in the first place.
Well, just the presentation of the timeline. Did the review of the review come before or after the president called FIFA?
So,
because we know the president has a history with FIFA. They gave him an award.
Yeah, they gave him what was it, the Peace Award or
I
something
don't know.
like
It was
that?
an award they made up.
Yeah, no. So
every award is made up.
So I believe originally that FIFA had said that he will serve the suspension, and then they reviewed it and determined that it didn't deserve a red card, and so that he won't. So I think technically the timeline presents so that the review came after the phone call. But ultimately it comes down to this. They've been talking about it now for days. Every analyst that they have on Fox is like, yeah, it shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. And people are comparing it to a play Lionel Messi had previously where he didn't get any card at all. And it felt like there was more intent behind that play than there was the Folarin Balogun play. And on top of that, you're talking about a U.S. host city. Like, this is one of the host countries for the World Cup. Their best player was going to be out in a round of 16 game. They probably want him to play. They did something similar with Ronaldo. He got a red card in the qualifiers. So this is prior to group play. This is back in the qualifiers. He got a red card, was supposed to serve a 3-game suspension that would have carried into group play. However, FIFA was like, nope, instead of 3 games, it's only 1 game. So he missed the final qualifying game and then was eligible to play for all of group stage.
Here's my read on it. And I'm giving this as somebody who is not a huge soccer fan, so I'm not coming at this from an expert angle. It's just my opinion. If you watch the play and you feel that it should not have risen to the level of a red card, the precedent it sets then of being rescinded is making something right before the next game.
Bingo.
Like, you shouldn't have a problem with it if you're UEFA or whatever, if you feel that that was the wrong call in the first place. You shouldn't be worried about what happened behind the scenes, or if this is corruption, coercion, if this is giving too much benefit to one of the host countries, or if it involves politicians. I honestly, if I think that the red card shouldn't have been there, I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is the precedent of turning it over to make it right.
Yeah.
To me, you can only have a gripe with this if you think that the intent was there, and that he should have been served the red card, and now he's being unfairly pardoned from that, and he shouldn't be allowed to play this game because the intent was there and the red card was deserved. All the other stuff, the extracurricular stuff, it doesn't matter that much to me because you already know that FIFA is a totally corrupt organization.
Yeah,
so that's nothing new.
No.
It's not like you're doing something that you're dirtying something that's pure and good in the world of sports. Come on.
And technically, by FIFA's laws and rules and regulations, they didn't do anything they can't do. Like, it says in their bylines that they
Just
can review
unusual.
red cards. Yes, exactly. Unusual, but it says that they can do it. And honestly, I bet if this was like Kylian Mbappe of France or Erling Haaland of Norway that had gotten a bogus red card like this and FIFA overturned it, people would be like, good job, FIFA. We want the stars playing in the game. But
or good job making the call that was a bad call right.
But because people around the world hate Donald Trump and think he's the reason that it got done, even though FIFA goes through an entire review process, he is not the sole reason, if any at all, that this got done and got overturned. But they believe it is. It makes them unbelievably mad. And it's kind of funny because now, once again, it's the USA versus the world. And if
it's just like hockey again,
it's all over again. And you know what? If they go out, I just hope they beat the bag out of Belgium tonight. Like, I want them to absolutely crush Belgium. I want them to walk into the next round, and I want them to put up a good fight against Spain, because I think Spain beats Portugal this afternoon at 3:00. That's my guess.
Okay, well, it's a big game tonight. I know you're going to be all over